Sure.
So
Yeah.
wait, I'm curious on one other thing that I won't push too much. So besides the First Amendment, what's the other strong area you think that Trump has over Biden? Should he become president?
Well, it's also because the thing with me about electing Biden isn't exactly solely because of his policies. It's also about empowering and making the Democratic Party stronger. Because the Democratic Party, and this is my strongest point, the Second Amendment. Do you agree with what they believe in the Second Amendment, that should be literally infringed?
Did you forget all of the fucking 300 school shootings that were plaguing the country before we had the fucking global pandemic?
No, fuck school shootings. No one cares about school shootings. I think the Second Amendment shit is dumb. Not that many people are killed by guns. But I don't think that's anywhere near like the most important issue. Like guns are such a fringe issue in the United States. I would never base like my vote on who's going to be nicer to my guns. And if you were, Trump has passed more anti-gun legislation than like the past like 2 presidents or 3 presidents, like with the whole bomb stock shit and the other expanded ban or whatever. Like, so I mean, yeah.
That's worse than the Democratic Party that wants to literally ban AR-15s?
No, probably not. But are
Okay,
guns?
so then-
Are you a single issue vote?
No, I'm not.
Is that supposed to be like, so we've got
You're balancing both of
domestic
them.
policy, we've got healthcare, and then we've got guns. Is that like
No,
your balance?
I
Are
was
guns
no,
like
no,
the
no. I
killing
was
issue?
talking about the Democratic Party, Republican Party on guns.
Oh, I think the Republican Party is generally better on guns.
Exactly.
Although
That's what I was doing. So maybe you should listen to what I'm saying instead of trying to literally be insulting.
Ooh.
Okay. So
You're like,
Here we
come
go.
on, man.
I've just tuned in all of a sudden.
Wait,
Nice.
do you
So,
really
Go on, carry on.
Come on, man.
besides guns,
Suddenly
and the
I'm
Second Amendment,
watching. Carry
What
on.
is the other like number one like most important
Wait,
issue that you think Trump would be better than Biden on?
About guns. Before we leave
What?
guns, I want to ask a question about guns. Do you think that the way that we currently, I mean, while Destiny says that school shootings don't matter, I think it was still a relatively large issue in the country before everything else happened here. And
An issue
when
not
you-
relative to gun killings, but
fine, but when you combine that with police shootings and how that ties into police brutality, do you honestly believe that all the laws that we have regarding gun rights are fine in the country, and that we don't need to make any changes? Do you think everything is all good right now?
sure. I think we need to repeal some of the infringes we already have.
So you think it needs to be more lenient?
Yeah.
So you think it's all good, except there's too many restrictions.
Yes, because literally in most of the cases, probably all of them, in all of these, because you want to talk about school shootings, all of these cases, if not close to all of these cases, in the room where it happened or in the school that it was happening, somebody would have had a gun on them to protect themselves. They could have fired back, but they didn't because of gun laws.
Oh no.
The only people who it's affecting,
have a question.
these signs and these laws, are the people that you don't have to worry about.
Since most of you are from USA, do you think that you have to carry a gun to protect yourself? Don't you
So
think that
a lot
it
of
would be
people
better to
think
not
that,
have
but
guns?
I think you should.
A lot of people think that, but that's just not backed up by any study ever. It's just not true.
Yeah, I don't like that thought.
Do you
Okay,
know
I
that
think
most of the
all
countries in the
guns.
world do the opposite? Like no one
True,
has guns
Candy.
and then you're safe?
Well, but the problem is there's already a lot of guns in the U.S., so we'd have to remove them. There's over 350 million firearms in the U.S., so you can't like just get rid of all of them.
Yeah,
the
that is
idea that carrying a
No,
gun,
I'm just saying that it should be
I mean,
maybe
you can
slowly
just get rid of them.
going
You just
down.
move from NA to
No.
EU, and then you get rid of them. The gun
Oh, where do you
manufacturers.
take your-
Imagine how
where do you
savage
take your
would
guns-
be if everyone
you?
just shoots whenever they want. You literally just said it. Everyone should be able to shoot whenever they want.
Well, that doesn't really
didn't say
happen.
that.
Though.
You
You
kind
said
of
that they should be able to shoot back. So
Yeah.
it's literally shooting like, okay, I
Yeah,
don't
but
like you, or
but
like
the
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 life
pro.
is in
I
danger,
also
you know?
I do feel like this is totally like whatever. I will say this. I do feel like people are less likely to. It's like, well, if I freaking shoot that guy, then I'm gonna get shot by somebody else. Like I don't know. It's just like it's like a weird. Like it's not really like
The
a real
problem
thing,
is
but-
here's the
That
problem.
is the
No,
wrong
here's the
part in
problem.
this logic.
Everyone that's talking is coming from a country that like it isn't as bad as America with guns, right? Like we can't just take like right now we can't just take guns away. I'm pretty sure right now like the statistic
Nor
is
should
like
we.
for each person in the fucking United States, there's like fucking 100 guns to one person. Like it just there's too many guns out, right? There needs to be a goddamn control, right? There needs to be a control or some sort of like better restriction or something like that, right? But this
Name
idea,
one.
this idea where
Listen.
we've come to the listen. There's so I'm gonna look right now how many guns there are.
Okay.
Like,
Here's the
there's
thing. In
over
my,
we're
Brandon
in
too
my,
Bryan.
far gone to pull guns. Like,
Yeah,
we're too
something
far
needs to
gone.
happen, but you can't just delete them.
Wait,
Something
so
needs to happen,
I'm-
but you can't delete them.
Something that I'm super curious about. Here's 3 quick things. Number one, I think that if you are going to sell a firearm privately, you should have to fill out a form for it. You should have to fill out a 4473 if you're going to sell a gun from one private individual to another, not just stores. Second thing is ATF should be able to keep electronic records and not have to do this weird paper record bullshit. So it takes 5 days to get a fucking gun trace if you've got a crime that was committed. And then the third thing is I think we should have some kind of basic psych eval if you want to go and get a license for a firearm or if you want to purchase a firearm. I think those
Yeah,
are 3
like,
pretty easy common sense things.
Here's the example of my country. We have to get like approval from police that you can have a gun. They have to check the gun, and like basically you also have to be stable mentally to own a gun. So it's super strict, and people. That's why like no one wants a gun because there is no reason for it. Like you just chill and you respect everyone, and no one shoots each other.
Check this out real quick.
definitely not how that works.
Hear me out real quick. Okay, so
Well, it's not in your country.
so obviously, America has about 350 million citizens, right? And the world's at what, 7 billion population, some shit like that. Check this out. So U.S. civilians account for 50% of worldwide total civilian held firearms, right? That's how many
USA.
guns are in America, right? It's like this extreme idea that everyone's jumping 0 to 100. So some of the guests in here that like maybe come from other places that don't understand the severity of or the popularity or the support of guns in the U.S. Like half of the world's civilian held guns are in the hands of civilians in the United States of America, right?
Yeah,
So like this
that's
idea where we go 0 to
problem
100 and
inside.
strip them all away and we're good to go in a 10-year period, it's just not going to happen. The only way we address this is if somehow meet in the middle, right? Get a better regulation for it, get better control, get better background checks for people who may be mentally unstable, right? Things like this. This idea where people are jumping from 0 to 100 of, oh, my country's this way, so we need to do this to America. It's not going to work. It's going to scare people more than it is going to help, even if it does help in the long run. Like, this is why we have two sides that are trying to battle each other with their extremes, with their polarized beliefs and their fucking extreme. It's not going to work. There needs to be a middle ground. And I hate to sound like the centrist in all of it, but that's just my opinion.
Hey, just a quick question. Somebody messaged me saying they want to get in, so I can have at least one person on my side. Is that
fuck
okay
them.
with you?
No.
Fuck that guy. Suck my balls.
Wait,
Never mind.
that's too far.
No, I remember earlier
X, go ahead.
whenever
That's too far.
not, I mean, even
I'm just asking.
before you joined, I was trying to make a point to Trent to like, not make an incentive for forget it, fuck it.
No, say it. I want you to say it. Say it, X.
Well, I don't make it like
You're
a
gonna
cult-
do it by saying it. By saying it, you're gonna
like
do it.
like a culture of getting randos, and not to make an incentive for people to act a certain way to get on. It's like this weird environment that's complete fucking dog shit that you're gonna have in the future.
I
think
agree.
things that keep them organic, keep them good. And when somebody
Agreed.
says, yo, man, can I get Jean Paul in? Like, no, he's not getting in. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, trust me. I've already permanent like 50 people.
Yeah, regardless.
You're completely on point about that.
Yeah. Also, it's just because these things kind of snowball so fast.
Yeah, they do.
About the guns thing. I just feel like the way you were phrasing it, it almost seemed like since we can't fix the problem by taking away the guns, because there's so many of them, then fuck the issue. Almost like a 100 or 0, right? And then you point out the middle ground, which is a good thing. I can only speak from my own experience. I feel like as a Canadian, it's like really hard to get a gun. Like it's actually difficult. I think it's not even that difficult to change, like to tweak a few things to where it's like kind of like harder to get a gun. I think it's so easy to get a gun.
Get a system basically.
Canada has guns,
To
though,
register
right?
Hold
your
on.
gun.
No, hold on. Listen. I want to throw some numbers around, okay? So I see people in chat. Australia has 3 million guns, okay? Canada has 7.1 million civilian guns. America has 393 million civilian guns. Do you understand? 7 million, 3 million. So
damn,
changing.
I know where I
No,
wanna
stop. I'm done with your bullshit. Listen, I'm done with your trolling, okay? I'm having a serious conversation. Listen. Yes, you're completely right. Rules can be set to remove 3 million guns. Rules can be set to remove or put control on 7 million guns. We're talking about 393 million guns in America, right? This isn't something that a rule is going to fix in 10 years or even 20 years. That's why, like, I'm not saying we should throw the issue out. I'm saying that we need to find an issue that doesn't, like, I think people are thinking in extremes. They want to find a solution that takes it all away. That's unrealistic. It's not going to happen. So in order to find a true solution, you need to have a realistic course of action, right? If your solution is to remove all guns from America, there is never going to be a realistic course of action.
I mean, obviously,
You're not
there
going to send
has
the
to be
police in and say,
steps.
"Yo, guys, you have three registered guns. Get them out right the fuck now. You're going to jail." Like, it's just,
The real answer is that in relation to all the problems in America, honest to God, guns just aren't really that big of a fucking deal. Democrats overreact about them. Republicans obsess over them, even though half of them have never touched a gun in their life. But if you really want to deal with like gun violence in the U.S., you have to counter like the war on drugs. Like there's way too much gang violence, and we've got too many firearms here, so they'll shoot themselves over it. But like the guns,
I love
just honestly
guns.
aren't anywhere near. Like the thing is anytime somebody dies to like some firearm shit, it's like top fucking stories everywhere. But in reality, not that many people die from guns in the U.S. And most of them that die with like fucking handguns anyway, not with rifles and shit. So it's just not really that big.
And it's their own gun. I don't know if you guys know this, but like, I've checked. I have to check the exact statistics on this, but a lot of so when someone buys a gun, like the percentage of that gun being used against them versus them using that gun against who they think they're using it against to protect themselves is actually a lot higher that it gets taken from them and used against them. The percentage of that is higher than them actually protecting themselves and using it. So that's another
argument,
issue.
though.
Another problem.
No. It's not an argument. I was giving him a thing about people who say like there needs to be some sort of implementation of like of gun training. There's so many different things we can implement. Like I think training is important. I think all these kind of things are important, but I don't know. It's a different conversation.